My name's Nate. Welcome to the DivMan channel. Today I want to talk about some critiques about MSTY and MSTR and my encouragement to you to embrace the chop. Now, what am I talking about? Let's look here at a few comments. What happens when Bitcoin crashes 20 or 40%? I said that because MSTY is a covered call ETF. It's going to outperform probably both BTC and MSTR, at least in the short term, as the price drops. And then we have this other comment. This person says, do you still believe this after all the NAV erosion? And let's just take a look at what they're describing. I mean, now for whatever reason, TradingView is showing the starting price of MSTY as $7. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with the chart. But the main thing I want to show here is just look at the chop. I mean, do you see how it just rocket upward, rocket downward, rocket upward, rocket downward, and then rocket upward, rocket downward? Do you see how that works? And yet, what are we really doing when we invest in MSTY? I mean, if you just want the gains of Bitcoin or MSTR, then invest in the underlying, or even the 2x version of either. There are 2x ETFs that you can invest in of both Bitcoin and of MSTR. You have multiple options and multiple different ETF providers. So if you just want the underlying gains, then just invest in the underlying or something close to the underlying, like a leverage version. But what are we trying to do? We're trying to leverage and I don't mean leverage as in like multiply, but leverage as in like utilize, as like a fulcrum, the volatility of Bitcoin and MSTR to produce income. And what is this? This is a high risk, high reward potential investment. And so the encouragement to you is when you see it chopping like this, and then you see people basically invoking the meme, it's over. You know, you hear that all the time on X or what have you, or even Reddit, you know, it's over. Just don't over leverage and hold for the long term, and you won't have to say it's over. Because look, how many times could you have said it's over? Let's look at Bitcoin itself. I mean, here is 2021. I mean, a lot of the people that bought at 61,000 felt really dumb. But how many people would like to buy at 61,000 right now, honestly? I mean, 61,000 would be a deal. 61,000 would be a steal. So, you know, embrace the chop. These assets are high volatility. It's sort of like there's not a lot of life in the graveyard, right? There's not a lot of chaos in the graveyard typically. And the reason is because there's no life in the graveyard, right? But there's chaos in the preschool. There's chaos in the crib. There's chaos in a house full of toddlers. But that's because there's life there. There's volatility because there's some vitality. And so we embrace the chop. This is just a Bitcoin chart over its lifetime, I believe, or maybe it's just a 5-year chart. Something close to since its lifetime. But look at MSTR. I mean, how many times in MSTR's last 5 years could you have said it's over? Just over and over again. If you bought the top and you don't have diamond hands, you could have bought high and sold low. But if you held, most likely you will realize some bit of nice gain there. So if you want something safe, go with something like SGov. If you want something nice, safe, and predictable, do you see how that just nice, smooth climb? No lurches there. Nothing to lose your lunch over, really, unless you're really concerned about treasury yields and whatnot. So, you know, if you want that, or you could even do this. This is not quite a bond ETF here. This is BOXX. I like it a lot because there's not really a taxable event if you just buy and hold, because they don't issue dividends. What they do is they do a spread, a call put spread on the S&P 500, which means that they're harvesting the volatility, but they don't pay a dividend. They just put that premium back into, or whatever gain they have from the options, they put that back into the NAV. And so it's nice and smooth, basically imitates the returns of, I don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, basically imitates the returns of treasury yields, and just a very low but consistent return there. So embrace the chop. You know, if you want safe, don't go to MSTR. If you want safe, don't go to MSTY. If you want safe, don't go to MSTU. If you want safe, I would honestly still encourage you to put a little bit into Bitcoin. But if you want safe in the sense of it won't chop and you'll feel like you're on the world's most intense financial roller coaster, you may want to just do treasury bonds, or treasuries, bonds, whatever. Because Bitcoin is not that. Bitcoin is the world's best performing asset over time, and MSTR is the best stock that utilizes Bitcoin price movement and issues different cool kind of financial devices that you can track Bitcoin's price movement with. So that's my encouragement. Don't lose your lunch. Don't sell in a panic unless you need to because you're over leveraged or something and need to avoid a call. Hang on to your MSTR, your MSTU, your MSTY shares, unless this isn't financial advice, but generally just embrace the fact that it's high risk, high reward, and that over time, because Bitcoin is one of the best performing assets, most likely MSTR will follow suit. And since it's kind of a leveraged Bitcoin thing, you'll probably realize that over time. So just hang in there, MSTY investors. And if you need to get more safe so you feel more peace at night, do what you got to do. But just embrace the risk factor and enjoy the risk once it pays off. That's all I have to say. Thanks. Bye.